Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal channel. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. The Martin Zubimendi to Real Madrid rumors are back, and once again they have been squashed by a more reliable outlet in the Telegraph, who believe Arsenal are signing Martin Zubimendi 100% this summer. But we'll be talking about why Real Madrid, for me, won't be signing Martin Zubimendi this summer. They don't really have a necessity in that particular part of the field. I think they'll be looking at defenders. William Saliba is one of them. They'll be looking at Dean Houston. They'll be looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold. But in terms of midfielders, I don't think with Aurelien Tchouameni and Camavinga, Madrid are really crazy about Martin Zubimendi. But also, Mikel Arteta has given us a massive update on our summer transfer plans and says us the confident they can go and sign any player. We can attract any player on the market. Do you believe so? Do you think Arsenal are now at that level where we can attract any player that we actually want? And there seems to be some bit of confidence about this Arsenal transfer team as compared to recent years. I mean, yes, we've signed Declan Rice and we are in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Does that mean that Arsenal are now at the level where we can attract any player? Let me know. But Mikel says we can attract any player this summer if we wanted them. And Fabrizio has confirmed that Arsenal are now in talks with Lewis Skelly, and Andre Bata is already talking to the management of the player to give him a new deal, as Mikel Arteta considers him a very important part of the machine come the future. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. What do you think about our summer transfer plans? Where are you on the Alexander Isak story? Do you think Arsenal can sign Alexander Isak even if it were just 100 million? I don't think it will go up to 150, and we'll talk about it, but I think it's just about Newcastle non-selling that's making that difficult, that deal very difficult. So do you think Arsenal can go ahead and get Isak done? Let's start off with the Zubimendi story. Again, a couple of outlets in Spain are saying that Real Madrid are pushing for Martin Zubimendi, and most importantly, they're saying that Martin Zubimendi is interested in Real Madrid at the moment and is looking into that direction, as we speak. Madrid feel they can get the deal done over Arsenal, and Martin Zubimendi is a big fan of Real Madrid. Now, I want to say that is not true according to the Telegraph. The Telegraph is saying that Martin Zubimendi is almost certain he will be playing for Arsenal 100% next season, and this has been confirmed by Fabrizio, this has been confirmed by David Stein, and we have reported about this on the channel a lot of the time. And I remember saying that I will talk about this story until it happens in early June. Now, why I think Madrid are not getting Martin Zubimendi? First and foremost, Arsenal believe, according to the latest information we've got, that we are going to get Martin Zubimendi early in June, not even in July or late June. It's going to be early in June. Mikel Arteta considers this position untouchable. He's one of the players that Andre Bata coming in, Arsenal have not even thought about any other alternatives. I mean, think about it. Andre Bata came in, and Arsenal all of a sudden were rethinking the Nico Williams deal, and were linked with Rafael Leao. Bata is a very big fan of Rafael Leao. He was linked with Kingsley Coman. Again, Andre Bata is a big fan of Kingsley Coman, and that shows you that a new sporting director is always going to come in and lead the charge and lead the direction of the club in terms of transfers. When you think about the striker situation as well, Mikel Arteta, a big fan of Isak, a big fan of Šeško, and Arsenal have been working on these deals for quite some time. Andre Bata comes in, and all of a sudden, Arsenal are all over the Victor Gyökeres deal. But something that has not changed is how Arsenal are looking to reinforce the midfield. Mikel Arteta has been always a big fan of Martin Zubimendi. And Andre Bata coming in, we have not had any talk about Arsenal dropping interest in Martin Zubimendi. It's actually Arsenal are just working on the deal. Andre Bata is just working to get the deal done as quickly as possible. So for me, this deal is 100% happening. I don't expect Arsenal to agree a deal with Jason Aito, interim sporting director, at the helm, and then lose it with Andre Bata. The only way we lose this deal is, one, if Arsenal gets another player that they're interested in that is better than Martin Zubimendi. At the moment, I don't know of any that Mikel Arteta really likes to the magnitude of Martin Zubimendi. Or if maybe Real Sociedad, increase the price and we can pay it. But at the moment, there are no indications of that. But also, let's talk about Madrid. Why would Madrid really want to sign Martin Zubimendi? First and foremost, Madrid have two defensive midfielders, the caliber, the energy, the level of Martin Zubimendi. And that is Aurelien Tchouameni. For me, in my opinion, Tchouameni has not been one of the best in the world ever since he came to Madrid. But before going to Madrid, definitely one of the best midfielders in the world. And I think he's got the ability to transform his game under the right management. And there is talk about Xabi Alonso maybe going to Real Madrid. I kind of feel like a player that is so reinforced and drilled as Aurelien Tchouameni will thrive under Xabi Alonso. Look at the way he's made, Granit Xhaka at Bayer Leverkusen. So I kind of feel like Tchouameni is that Robert Andrich at Bayer Leverkusen, and Xabi Alonso would enjoy his company in midfield. But even if it's not that, think about Eduardo Camavinga. Again, another guy with a lot of work rate, another guy with so, very fine skills on the ball. Why would Madrid really want to be looking at Zubimendi when they have areas of need? Up front, they need one more player, in my opinion. They need a goalkeeper, probably. They need, about two defenders as well, or three defenders. Why would they be going for Martin Zubimendi? It's clearly, for me, pointless. And then, let's think about this. Let's think about this, right? A new manager might be the reason as to why maybe Madrid is saying, we want Martin Zubimendi. Maybe a manager said, I want Zubi. And the two managers that have been linked with Madrid are Jurgen Klopp and, at the moment, Xabi Alonso. For me, Xabi Alonso, yes, it makes sense. Alonso would want Martin Zubimendi. He would love a profile like Martin Zubimendi. But then he's already got Tchouameni, like I said, and he's already got Eduardo Camavinga. It would be pointless for him to spend 60 million euros on Martin Zubimendi when he can spend that 60 million euros on a player like Jonathan Tau or a player like, any centre-back in the world that can cost about 60 million euros and reinforce that defense. When it comes to Jurgen Klopp, I don't think he's a big fan of that profile. I mean, think about his time at Liverpool. Think about his time at the Borussia Dortmund. Is he a big fan of these really skilled defensive midfielders? Not really. I mean, he loves a free-flowing midfield, and he wouldn't really bother going for, for me, Martin Zubimendi. So I think Arsenal fans need to be very, very confident on this one. It hasn't changed in any way. The player has not had any arguments with any other club apart from Arsenal, and we have that confirmation that Arsenal have agreed with Martin Zubimendi. We Sociedad as well have not agreed any other deal with any other club. If Madrid was serious, like it has been said, it has been over 2 months now, we would have had something concrete from a good source on the Martin Zubimendi deal. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen 100%. Listen, Madrid are Madrid, and Zubimendi is Spanish, and maybe they get a good manager, and maybe they turn the head of Real Sociedad with more money. I don't know. But at the moment, Arsenal expect him to be an Arsenal player 100% come early June. Now, Mikel Arteta has been speaking about the Arsenal transfer summer. It's a big one. He said he's expectant and he's very excited. It's one that's going to mean a lot. We've done a video yesterday on the channel talking about Mikel Arteta's master plan about phase 5, what the transfer window that's coming up means, and what every profile and every player means in terms of the project. So go and watch that video. It will help you understand why Mikel Arteta is looking at different profiles and certain players as well. But this one has been talking about the big names that we are linked with, and he was asked, do you think that Arsenal can get all these players, Zubimendi, Isak, Šeško, Williams, and it's unprecedented a summer that Arsenal have never been linked with so many players and would really want them. Like the last time Arsenal were linked with big names, like in a sequence, I think it was that summer where we wanted Rice and Havertz and Julian Timber. I think that's it. And we got them. We are used to being linked with big name players, but Arsenal never signed big name players right from the days of Arsene Wenger. Remember, Karim Benzema never arrived. Gonzalo Higuain never arrived. Di Maria from Madrid never arrived. It's only Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez that ever arrived amidst a lot of speculation. But Mikel has said, we can attract any player. That was his response. When he was asked about the big summer he's planning and the plans of the club, he said, we can attract any player at the club at the moment. That's a lot of confidence from Mikel, given the magnitude and given the level of players that we're tracking and the players that we actually want. There are many players, first and foremost, and then they're expensive players and they're very good players. But I think Mikel has changed Arsenal. And come the end of the season, I hope that we get to do a video about the successful transition of Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. And that would be better if Arsenal dare get to the finals and even win it possibly. I think Mikel has changed Arsenal to the level that many of us never dreamed about. I never thought that I would sit right there doing a video and Arsenal in the semi-finals of the Champions League and we have like a 30% chance of winning the whole thing. I think Arsenal have the same chance as Barcelona, we have the same chance as Inter Milan and the same chance as PSG to go all the way and win the Champions League. Because I don't think there is any club right now that is as defensively drilled as Arsenal remaining in the Champions League. Attacking wise, Inter is better, Barca are better, and PSG are better. But at times, defenses win titles. We have said that before. So Mikel has changed this team to the level that you can't even imagine, right? We are looking at this Arsenal team and we are saying they can get Isak because they have signed Declan Rice. 5 years ago, or 10 years ago actually, I don't think Arsenal signed Declan Rice. I think it would have been a no-brainer. Rice to Chelsea, Rice to Man United, Rice to Liverpool. It would have been a no-brainer. But for Mikel to sit in a press conference now and say, we can attract any player. And I think it's true. Arsenal can attract any player. Ask any player wants a club that is going to fight for Champions League. Every player wants a club that's going to give them the chance to play in the topmost competitions and a chance to win them. That is what Arsenal didn't have under Arsene Wenger. That is what Arsenal didn't have under Unai Emery. And that's what Arsenal didn't have in the first 4 years under Mikel Arteta. We could compete, but we didn't have the promise that we are going to compete to win. We were there. I think that's the right phrase to say. We were always there, already 20 years with Arsene Wenger in the Champions League. That was like a landmark. I mean, can you imagine Arsene Wenger qualifying for the Champions League for 20 years straight? That was a landmark. That shouldn't be a landmark for a club the magnitude of Arsenal. We shouldn't be celebrating qualifying for the Champions League. We should be celebrating maybe going to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, even the finals, right? So Mikel has come in and changed the way everyone looks at Arsenal. Everyone now looks at Arsenal as a behemoth of a team. Wow, we are playing Arsenal. How do we break them down? I'm sure PSG are right there, in Paris, thinking about how do we break this Arsenal team down? How do we score against them? They concede very, very low goals. They concede very little expected goals. And more importantly, they let go through of very little chances. Arsenal have not conceded 3 goals in a single game in a very long time. So I think Mikel is right. And the question I got in my head, this is a little bit crazy, but the question I got is, does it mean Isak? I try to convince myself every single day that the Isak deal is not doable and therefore I need to forget about it. But I just can't. You can't forget about Arsenal wanting Isak. I want to remind you of the information that we got right from January and February around Alexander Isak. And this was from David Ornstein and Fabrizio. Fabrizio gave us the basic information. He said Arsenal are big fans of Alexander Isak. Mikel Arteta loves him. He is his number one priority for a striker. And if Arsenal can get the deal done, forget about all these other strikers, Isak is his number one priority. With David Ornstein, he said Arsenal know it's going to be difficult. It's a difficult deal to do. But they want him. Mikel Arteta is a big fan of him. And there are voices of belief inside the club that the Isak deal is not 100% undoable. I don't know what that means. But this confidence from Mikel that we can attract any player, does he believe that Arsenal can go and talk to Isak and make him push for a move? We've talked about the conditions under which Arsenal can sign Alexander Isak. And we said the player has to push for a move. Arsenal have to push as well. We've got to break the bank and all that. But can we get Alexander Isak to turn his head the way Declan Rice said to West Ham, hey, I'm going to be playing at Arsenal next season? And West Ham were like, what? You serious? Yeah, listen, I don't know, but Mikel is confident that we can attract any player, and this summer is going to be an important one. So it's important that we keep up the belief. And finally, Fabrizio has talked about Lewis Kelly, and he says that Arsenal are in talks with Lewis Kelly and his management to get his new deal done, as Mikel Arteta considers him a very important part of the machine. So the question I have for you right there is, do you think Arsenal should sign a left back with Kieran Tierney and Zinchenko leaving possibly? Do you think we should get a left back, or Ricardo Calafiori and Lewis Kelly are just enough? What have you made of Skelly's progress? Because he's a player that promises so much, but we shouldn't put a lot of pressure on him as well. So I don't know, do you think it's a good thing that he's there? Or do you think that Arsenal should sign a left back and maybe just protect him a little bit more? Because we have seen England play him already, and England never protects your player. So I want your thoughts right there in the comment box below. Smash the like button. Speak to you right in the next one.